Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Wardy's Waffle. You can see I'm not in the UK with the scenery behind me. Rhonda and I have had a few days in Portugal, which has been absolutely fantastic. In June, I actually saw a Agzeed robotic autonomous tractor working, so I've got a lot of footage on that and talking to the guys who designed it. But just before we get into that, I just wanted to just touch on our 8RX John Deere, which most of you know has been incoming. It actually arrived a couple of days ago, which is great news, but I wasn't there to see it. So what we've actually done is Tom has actually done a little bit of drilling and also some solo work. You can see here from the clips we've got, it's pulling it really well and doing a good job. So I'm really keen to see this machine working at home. So next week's updates will feature obviously a lot more on back home on the farm and the John Deere. Anyway, looking at what we've got forward in this coming week, this Agzeed tractor, it's actually, I think, a game changer in farming and robotics. It was first developed in 2018 by 4 people who were at Challenger, and actually they thought that tractors were getting too big and too heavy. There is now 17 people in the Agzeed company, and they've been involved in Agco, Fendt, Challenger, John Deere, Lemkin and Lely. So they've got some really good pedigree and some fantastic history and wealth of experience in this type of thing, so it's good to have them in it. Going back in time, we started with the horse, then we went to the small tractor, then the larger tractor, and then of course now we're thinking of going back to the smaller tractor because things have got too heavy and we'll want to look after the soil. And the thing with robotics is, of course, the great thing with those is they can keep going for 24 hours without an operator, if you like, once they're all programmed properly. So that is the benefits of them. And Amazon have just started to be involved in Agzeed as well, with development of the tractors and financing it. So having a company like that on board is great. And also they're looking to make some of these tractors possibly electric in a few years' time, when batteries become a bit more reliable, bit more capacity for charging, and again that will obviously help with the carbon of the thing. So having if you've got solar and if you've got wind turbines on the farm to be able to charge these up electrically will be really good. The first job once you get one of these tractors is for someone on the farm to be trained, and actually they go around the edge of every field with a special pole to map and mark out all the field boundaries, and this only needs to be done once. But also another interesting point is existing maps from other machinery other machinery companies cannot be used. They can't be transferred. It must be done by somebody who knows what they're doing, trained, and you can't transfer GPS from say John Deere or Trimble or anybody like that. And then once the field boundaries are mapped, they then are put on the Agzeed portal. And then for the demo, I actually saw they placed a pallet in the middle of the field to simulate a tree or a telegraph pole for an obstacle, and it will go around those, and it's got cameras on them in case there's something being put in the field that hasn't been mapped. And then a task is created, and usually before winter or during the winter in the office, and all these tasks are created with different machines on the back of the tractor, and then it's all done and it's all stored. So the minute when you want to go out, when the weather's right, conditions are right, all your tasks are mapped, and then everything's there ready for it to work. So I think it's really absolutely fascinating. So I hope you enjoy this update. There's a few more snippets from the guys who designed it, looking at field boundaries and mapping and routes and things, and then we've got about 15 minutes of footage of this actual robotic tractor working in the field and going around this pallet in the field and this everything. It's absolutely fascinating, a real game changer. So here we go, hope you enjoy it. So there we are. Interesting design. With the guys from Agzeed looking at this autonomous and robotic tractor. Just going to have a look at the presentation and see the history of the machine and the company, and then we'll see the machine running.
115 T2, which is like a 5 is like the series, and 115 is power in kilowatts, and it has 2 tracks. That's
right. So in kilowatts horsepower, you say that's 150?
156.
156 horsepower.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, similar specs to what a tractor also has. Like we have a rear hitch, we have a PTO. So there's nothing quite new, except for like a low soil pressure and like the additional interface.
You have one of these as well. This is
Yes, this is also one of our
Oh right, I've never seen one of those before.
Yes.
And how many horsepower is this one?
55 kilowatts, which means it equals 75
Yeah.
horsepower.
But for orchards and
Yes.
small.
Yeah, for orchard application spraying. What I can then do is create a new task.
Yeah.
And then I can choose a configuration which is like the robot plus any kind of implement. So I need this kind of configuration for the robot to know
What's on the back?
what's on the back,
Yeah.
what am I working with, and also the dimensions.
Yeah, I was going to say the width and everything.
Yeah.
What GPS system is it using?
So it's using RTK GPS.
Any make though? Which is it? Trimble or you know what I mean? Any or your own or?
It's Novatel, and we have like two receivers on there to be sure also to have the heading straight.
You're just saying you've got 2 antennas and 2 RTK
Signals.
Yeah,
just like to fall back. So we have satellite RTK and also NTIP.
and also
NTIP, which is like mobile.
the mobile network, phone network.
Yeah.
So if one fails, you've got a backup.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. What modes?
Routing
What's that?
modes. So you can, for example, choose path to path, which is like,
Oh,
easy,
right,
like
yes.
going from line to line. We can choose optimal, which then calculates the shortest route
Yeah.
and the most efficient one. We have skip n, where we skip n lines, which means if
Yes.
we put a 2 in here, we
I
would
know.
skip 2 lines
Yeah.
and then come back. And also snake, where we wouldn't come back, but do it like
You
this, so
follow it.
skip and then like
Yeah.
this, and then go back again.
Yeah.
What we also can do in here is choose, okay, where do I want to start? So the robot is now over there. So I start where the green dot is,
Yeah.
and when I say, okay, where do I want to end? I double click, and then I can also say, okay,
And there as well.
yeah. And I can also have an angle offset. So for example, if I want to work in a 15-degree angle,
Yes.
for example, I can do that
Do
as
that.
well. So if I put in here 15 degrees, it should do like 15 degrees clockwise from this line.
From there. Yeah.
I can also put in how many headland passes does it want to
Right.
do. So that would be 5. So 5 times going
Yeah.
around.
That's normal type
Yeah.
of GPS on any tractor. Yeah.
If I have any kind of other implement that is like front mounted and I need the PTO, for example, I just virtually turn the robot around and then it's driving like in reverse mode.
Yeah. So this is in the cab, you were saying? Yeah.
Yeah, so we can adjust all kinds of things that we can normally also adjust on the tractor.
Yes.
So the working speed and the mainland and the headlands, and also the forward turning speed, and we can do the settings on all kinds of things, and also on the rear hitch.
And all this has to be done from the laptop.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is the core idea is that you do the planning previously in the winter in the office.
Yeah.
When there's not too much rush. Think about how are you going to do this for the next years, and then pre-plan everything, every task, and then once the time has come, the weather's right, then just send the task to the machine and let it execute it.
Okay.
You can this reference line basically,
Yeah.
and clockwise done like a 15-degree angle.
Yeah. You
It
put
is
that in on
done.
that's your pallet, is it? There.
Yes, that's the palette.
Yeah. The obstacle.
It has also done like the 5 headlands,
Yeah.
and it has calculated basically backwards from where do I want to end. It calculates where do I need to start.
Yeah.
So that no worked area is driven over without doing anything.
Yeah.
So it will then drive down here, down the yellow line, and
Yeah.
then start working down here, and work its way up. Also depending on the routing mode, so skipping 2 lines and then going there. And
Yeah. And back. Yeah.
So I like what I see. I can save this task, and when it's saved, I can then send it to my machine. Then I need to drive it inside the field boundaries, and then the light on the top turns green,
Yeah.
and then I can start working basically. What I do then with the remote control is just to fine tuning.
So that is remote control. Yeah. Wow.
So the remote control only comes into play when I put it onto the trailer and off
Yes.
the trailer and to put it into the fields and to do like the fine tuning of it. So if you can do all kinds of things in the portal and so on and so forth, but in the field it might be different. Like the conditions might have changed and so on.
So how far away from the machine does this work?
It's quite far away. So that far that you cannot see it anymore. You should use it to set it in.
Yeah.
And do like all the kinds of fine tuning. So the rear hitch, the speed.
Yeah.
All of this you can adjust, like and it does an offset, but then you should not touch it
Not
again.
use
So if that's fine, you can just leave the remote control as is and let the robot do the work basically.
Start the machine.
You switch the ignition,
Yeah, up there. Yeah.
then you press the on button on your remote control.
Yeah.
Then from there it's just following the instructions. So it wants me to press 1, power ECUs, yes, push the button to start the engine,
Which is
there.
right. Yeah.
Start button.
That's it.
Easy as that.
Easy as that. Okay. And so, what engine is in it? Is in it?
It's a
Deutsch. Yeah.
4-cylinder.
Yeah.
So 155 horsepower.
Yeah. Right. So just
So backwards,
yeah.
forwards, steering, and then we've got the hitch.
Yeah.
And we've got the top linkage.
Gosh, you can alter the top link from there.
Yeah, everything is
Yeah, from that.
controllable. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So now you see the lights on the machine are green,
Oh yes.
and then it's able to go into autonomous mode.
Right.
If the lights are yellow, it is not able to. So I just drove to within the field boundaries,
Yeah.
and then the lights, they flash green,
Yep.
and then you are able to start autonomous.
Right.
So now we first need to go to
And will those lights be on the front of the machine as well?
yes, the rear.
So yours in the front. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I just maneuver the machine to the first position.
Yep.
That's by pressing 1 and then go forward. And now I can put it in autonomous mode. It says go, push the number 2 and then charge.
And that's now
And now it's in autonomous
autonomous.
mode. Yep. So now it first drives to its first position where it can work,
Yeah.
and then it works its way to the ending point.
Right. Oh, I see. So it now knows, because of what we just put in from the laptop, it knows its sort of parameters.
Yeah. So it doesn't figure out the route by itself. It knows already where to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's need to turn around, and then it will start working.
And you're not doing anything.
I'm not. Like, I'm holding the
Yeah.
remote control.
And
Not
then,
doing anything.
and there you go. Look at that in the background. Now it is doing its own thing.
So now it's in its first lane.
Yes.
Probably a short one. Yep. And now turning around, and then it will work its way to that side of the field, and then work its way around to do the headlands.
And it's going to miss.
It's gonna miss our
Yeah.
obstacle.
Yeah. So I just asked about if it would say something went wrong and it carried on over this track here and through that barley crop and kept going. And you're saying it can't because we've mapped the field.
Yeah, we've mapped the field with the exact
Yeah.
coordinates of
Yeah.
of the positions.
And there's no way that it can go outside that area.
No, it knows the field boundary. It just knows where
Yeah.
not to go,
Yeah.
or where to go.
Yeah. But if the GPS signal failed or something happened,
If the GPS signal fails, then in 20 minutes, if it doesn't pick up a new GPS signal, then it will stop.
right.
So within these 20 minutes, it remembers its old correction,
Yeah.
and then based on that, it can go on for 20 minutes. And in the meantime, normally you would have picked up a new signal. If not, the robot knows there's something wrong.
So it would carry on without a GPS signal for 20 minutes.
Without correction.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then if that didn't come back after 20 minutes, then it would shut down.
Yes, correctly. And then you have to come physically to the field, set it up again.
Yeah.
And then start going again. But normally after 20 minutes, there's something wrong.
Yeah. It's about to turn, it's slowed down. Very impressive. You see the green lights just above the machine there? That shows it's in automatic mode. Those green lights show front and rear. It's left this strip here. It knows it's been programmed into skipper breed. So it's going to come down this other side now, just down here. I see the green lights at the front. See the two white GPS receivers on the top. One's linked to satellites, one's linked to a mobile phone mast network. So there's always a backup. And you can see there it's filling that in perfectly, what it's just missed. So here we've got this pallet laid out in the field to imitate an obstruction such as a tree or a telegraph pole. That's been programmed into it. So these bits that it's missed here, will they ever get done? No. Explain one or two things about the machine if you you see there flashing, that's the GPS receivers there.
That's one of the two GPS receivers.
Yeah, there's the other one.
There's one on the other side.
Yep, got that.
It needs it to know exactly where it is.
There's a correction sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, also it needs it, to know its position.
Yeah.
Left or right, front or back.
Yeah, right.
Then we've got the white thing.
The white one in the middle there.
That's for your telephone signal.
There's a
like
backup.
The SIM card.
Yeah.
Which that's for your correction as well, and
Yeah.
for your
Yeah.
transfer of information.
Yeah.
Then we've got the LiDAR, which is the blue thing on top
For
obstacle detection.
yeah.
So that can see 200 meters around itself.
Yeah.
And we've got the CCTV.
Right. So just say for instance here, if there was say a tree in a field that you forgot to put in program into it, would that pick it up?
Yes.
And it would stop or go around it?
It will stop.
Stop.
It won't go around it because the route is already fixed.
Right.
So it will approach, drive slower, 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 because the tree doesn't get go away.
Yeah.
And then eventually it will stop and shut itself off.
Right. How big is the fuel tank?
I believe 340 liters.
Yeah.
And there's AdBlue as well.
Right.
So we've got an after treatment system.
Yeah.
On,
And generally, how long would that be? Enough time? How long would it keep going for?
on 70% engine load.
Yeah.
That's 20 hours.
And then the track system. Do you know the other tracks? Are they Goodyear or are they Camoplast?
This is self-developed.
Right. Oh, especially for the machine.
Yeah. So for now, we've used components of different manufacturers.
Yeah.
But eventually, if we scale up, we want to produce them ourselves.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And very interesting. I commented earlier about you've got the 4 idlers here, which quite a lot of tractors and track machines don't have as many as that. And also the ones here go fairly near to the edge of the track, so you don't get the curving up of the tracks, which I think is really good. And problem with our quad track has been, not so much the last one, but over the years, these blocks here, the drive blocks, these here, they crack along the top here. Have you had it long enough to see if that happens? Maybe it's not got the grip.
Not yet.
No.
We're still making ours to.
And then where have all these components come from? The idler wheels and the drive wheels.
It's, I believe, are from Zoutberg.
Yeah.
From the Netherlands.
The Netherlands, yeah. Okay.
And the track itself is, I believe, from the United States.
And the engine is 156 horsepower, 4-cylinder.
Yeah, the Deutsch diesel engine.
Yeah, great. And cost roughly?
Roughly, give or take, 260,000 euros.
Yeah.
So converted to pounds, that's 220.
Yeah, yeah. But really, when you look at it, I think it's incredible. Very, very impressive. All the normal tractor back end things, PTO.
Yeah, electric driven.
Yeah. And you've also seen this top link can be operated from the keypad there. Yep. And these are work lights.
Yeah, work lights. Because you can't go over road by this.
No.
Not without truck.
Yeah. So you put it on a low loader on a trailer.
Yeah, which we use a small one that can carry up to, 10 tons.
Yeah.
This machine is 7.5. So you got your implement in the front weight. So it will.
Are you looking at bringing out more horsepower or slightly heavier machines, or not at the minute?
We're thinking about it, but for now we will keep developing this
And get this right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make 100% sure that the customers are satisfied, and then we can consider.
And how many at the minute have you got out on farms?
At the moment we are producing 10 of these.
Yeah.
So the first delivery will be in 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay. That'll be very interesting to see. And which country is that?
The first one is off to the Netherlands.
Yeah.
To a lettuce farm.
Yeah.
So they do 4 to 5 times lettuce on the same plot per year. So that's quite feasible for them to do the soil preparation.
And that on top there, that tube, is that for seed? Has it had a planter, a drill on the back?
Yeah, it had a Amazon F-tender in the front.
Yeah.
With a drill on the back, doing.
So a hopper on the front.
Yeah, hopper on the front.
Yeah.
Drill on the back. We did some demos in Germany with this setup.
Underneath one of the panels, so yeah, air filter there.
Here's some of your ECUs.
Yeah.
Another ECU. Then over here you've got your key, main switch, start button, everything for your diagnostics.
A lot of wires and electronics.
Yeah. Hydraulic tank, valve block for all your hydraulics. And then in the middle section there's the engine.
Yeah.
Which we can't open for now.
Okay. Yeah.
If you take a look at the tracks, the electromotor is just behind, connected to the distribution box.
Yeah.
And from there it's connected to the generator.
Incredible.
Yeah, so the rear is just like a normal tractor.
And that is at stop?
Yep.
So that's if you're near, you can stop it outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So all the drive is from this sprocket there? That's right. There's no friction drive from the bottom.
All the power is supplied by this
Yeah,
wheel.
that sprocket there,
And
yeah.
there's 2 separate electromotors.
Got Simon Brown here from Amazon, because Amazon have got a, what, have you got a tie-in with it, or are you just starting to invest in it?
Strategic partnership now together, so we've invested in the business. We just see
Turn around with the sun. Yeah?
yeah, we see a huge future really in this utilising autonomous vehicles, but with practical on-farm machinery. There's not we're not investing in new machinery. We're just utilising existing technology then, but in a more efficient manner. So in terms of control, then the vehicle then provides an electrical supply then to the machine, then so we can power that machine electrically. So spinning disc on a fertiliser spreader or say sprayer pump can be driven electrically rather than by hydraulic power or PTO. It's a more efficient way of driving. And in terms of ISOBUS connectivity, then we've got remote access then to the ISOBUS terminal. We can then load a job, load a VRA map, do GPS switch and so on, then section control then remotely effectively then so that you can start and stop jobs. It'll start and stop the seeder then working, so you've got say complete control of the implement via ISOBUS.
And has it got the potential as well to upload any sort of completed work data, whether it be spraying or seeding, straight up onto the cloud or whatever system you're using?
You can export then the finished job, as you would do normally.
So that's the end of this demo. I've finished here now looking at this incredible machine, I think, and I've always said the developments and the changes we see in farming, I said a couple of years ago, in the next 5 years, 10 years is going to be huge, and this is just a prime example. I think possibly the idea of this is that you maybe have 3 machines working nearby or not far away from each other, and you have one person controlling those, all linked into laptops and things, programs, and if you have a seeder and a drill on it and hopper of seed on the front and a drill on the back, then you can obviously have alerts put in so you know when it's running empty. I think it will lift 3.5 tons on the front and 8 on the back, and then the machine weighs 7.5, so incredible capability with it. But of course you think it's only a 3-metre machine on the back, but when you think of the hours that this will work, it's probably the equivalent of 6, because it doesn't need to stop for a coffee break, it doesn't need to stop for lunch, it can go through the night, so it's potentially operating do the same work as a 6-metre machine or even bigger, and not with the footprint, not with the weight, and obviously with the fuel consumption that they're on about as well. So I think fantastic opportunities and capabilities, and it's just mind-blowing when you think what is achievable with something like this in the future. So just a fascinating demo this morning. I'm blown away by it, to be honest. So that's it for another update. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Bit of a different one to the usual one, but just shows what's available and what's out there, and technology, how it will change the face of agriculture. My one concern is labour. Obviously, we've got some very skilled operators in agriculture in a minute today, and will it reduce further and make people not want to come into the industry? In a way, I don't think so, because you'll need a lot of technical guys to operate, and girls obviously, to operate these machines and to manage them. So we have labour shortages in agriculture, so it's an interesting one to follow. Just before I go, I had a phone call from AS Communications before we came to Portugal. They're a company who do Trimble GPS in the UK, and they're who we got all our base station, all our steering and guidance from a few years ago. And they wanted to talk to me because they've just become agents for AgZeed. So hopefully we're going to be seeing one of these tractors on our farm at Leadenham in the near future, if we can do some development work with them. So that'll be fascinating. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Please click like, subscribe and the bell icon to alert you when my videos are, which are every Sunday morning at 8 AM and sometimes on a Wednesday evening if I have a lot of content. And until next time, cheerio.